Hello and welcome. This is Columbia Basin Research's first video in a multi-part series on using Program PitPro. PitPro is a program created by Columbia Basin Research at the University of Washington School of Aquatic and Fisheries Sciences. PitPro is designed to translate raw PTAGIS PIT-tag detection data into usable capture histories for programs SURPH and ROSTER. PitPro also provides a variety of summaries, including an error report, a travel timetable, and Cormack-Jolly-Seber estimates for further analysis. The detection processing logic of the program is updated often based on the latest PTAGIS site configuration update, ensuring accuracy. These are required as the PIT-tag detection configurations across the river change through time. Today in this first video, I'm going to show you how to download and install PitPro, as well as provide some basic information on what you'll need to run the program. Future videos in this series will demonstrate how to run the program and configure it to produce the desired results. Alright, so first we need to go to the Columbia Basin Research website. Go to cbr.washington.edu. There are various things you can do on our website, but for our purposes, you need to click on Tools and Models. That's where we keep our statistical software. If you click on Tools and Models, you'll see Parameter Estimation. And under that header, you can find PitPro. It will bring you to the PitPro page at cbr.washington.edu/analysis/apps/PitPro. We always list our current version right here. You can find previous versions over here, but for our purposes, you don't need those. You want the most current version. So click on that version here, currently 4.19.8. And then you can find the PitPro 4.19.8 MSI file. It'll help you install it on your system. It's here under Distribution. You'll want to save that wherever you save your files. Open up the folder that it's in and double-click PitPro 4.19.8 MSI. And you'll go to the Setup Wizard, click Next, decide where you'd like to keep the program, click Next, then Install. One last window might come up about making changes to your PC, click Yes, and finally Finish. From there, you can go to the search bar and type PitPro. PitPro should pop up, click it, and run the program. Maximize your window. The PitPro interface screen should appear. PitPro uses 4 data files. 2 are necessary, tagging and interrogation data, and 2 are optional, recapture and mortality data. The tagging data define the release date and site, species, rearing type, and length for each fish. Using these data, PitPro determines sample size, checks for errors, and can include a length covariate in the capture history file if requested. If I open the example file with Notepad, you can see how the data must be formatted. The tag code ID is first, followed by the release date in year, month, day, hour, minute, second format, then a release site code, species code, run code, a rear type code, wild or hatchery, and a length in millimeters. The interrogation provide the time and location of observations of study fish which are translated into capture histories. Based on this data, PitPro determines the outcome of a fish at each capture history site, depending on what that site is. A dam with a juvenile bypass system, for example, could have possible outcomes of return to river, sampled, or transported. The capture history for a fish incorporates this information for each site in a sequential record of passage. Here in the interrogation data example, we can see tag code ID, the observation site code, observation date value, and antenna ID. The recapture and mortality data are optional, but could have large implications for analysis outcomes, especially for smaller releases. Mortality data provides the time and location of any known mortalities. Here we can see the format of the data file, which includes the tag code ID, mortality date in year, month, day, hour, minute, second format, mortality site code, and mortality river kilometer value. Similarly, the recapture data provide the time and location of recapture, which could indicate additional handling after release. These data are handled in the same way. A fish was recaptured or dead is designated as removed from the study from that point, and any subsequent observations in the case of recaptures will be ignored. Here the format is tag ID code, recapture date value, recapture site code, and recapture river kilometer value. The main output of PitPro is the capture histories for each fish. The program provides one capture history for each fish in the tag group, defined by the tagging data, excluding those removed for errors, but including fish for which there was no detection. Those are assigned a capture history of all zeros not detected. The output file format can be selected to be compatible with SURPH 1 and 2 or ROSTER. SURPH is a program that allows a more advanced analysis of mark recapture data available on our website, and ROSTER is a program that integrates whole life capture histories to estimate juvenile, ocean, and adult survival. PitPro can provide several other useful data files: an error file recording the reason for any removals, a travel time file with the travel time for each fish from release to detection site if release data is provided, and Cormack-Jolly-Seber estimates. PitPro allows the user to select configuration details via the tabs in the main program window. Many of the settings have defaults that apply to most situations. One setting that should always be set is the folder setting in the Input section of the Run Setup tab. The program will only be able to see data that is in that folder. You can see here that my input files are kept in a PitPro scripts folder on my desktop. If no tag files appear in the Run Config area, you may have to uncheck the Filter by File Type box. Please note that when unchecking the Filter by File Type box, sometimes it loads in the incorrect files. So in this case, you'll want to assure that you have the tagging data example here and not two interrogation data examples. Depending on the data set, the default list of sites on the Sites tab may need to be changed. In many cases, this is sufficient preparation to select a data set on the Run Setup tab. Click the Add Run button and run the program. A successful run with all settings left as defaults will produce capture histories compatible with SURPH with fields as defined on the Sites tab. PitPro will assume that all observations are of juvenile fish. This has been Lesson 1 on using Program PitPro, in which we covered downloading and installing Program PitPro and navigating its various menus. Future videos in this series will include further detail on configuring the program, as well as how to best make use of your input and output files. Please note that if for any reason you're having trouble with Program PitPro and these videos are not sufficient to answering your questions, you can find the user manual at cbr.washington.edu/analysis/apps/PitPro. PDF manual is there, and you can either load that into a web browser, as I'm doing right now, or you can download and view it in Adobe. If you're using Program PitPro and you have any questions or comments, on that same page you may give us feedback via our user satisfaction survey. We would greatly appreciate any feedback you have in helping us make future versions of this program to be more useful to our users. We hope that this video helps you get the most out of Program PitPro. Again, if you have any questions or comments in regard to Program PitPro, please fill out our survey as previously detailed. You can also contact Columbia Basin Research at web@cbr.washington.edu. Best of luck with your analyses, and thank you.